Good afternoon. My name is Shad Williams. I'm a student here at Texas Tech University, um, and I'm here to present my oral presentation. Um, First and foremost, I would like to give a little background on my journey of finding this topic. So, at first, I started off with a topic of water scarcity, and basically, it was a topic that reached upon the water problems and water issues and scarcity that was present in around the globe, overseas, the U.S., and even cities within the U.S. And uh, it was my job to at least come up with solutions and different interdisciplinary perspectives of um, how to find these solutions in order to increase a better water supply for these hurting and lower income of countries and cities that ran into these problems. And um, I came up with many things and ideas and things of this nature, but as I grew on it and I came across this topic, I became a lot more interested in my new topic that I chose. So basically, the topic that I decided to choose and go on and explain about was the use of minimum wage, and more specifically, it was the use of minimum wage um, and its effects on the social and economic structures in the U.S. today. And I came up with two intended for my thesis. I came up with two interdisciplinary perspectives, which led me into the first one being the use of minimum wage on eradicating poverty in the U.S. Second was the use of minimum wage for the redistribution of resources within a country, within the U.S., and just in general around. So, what I came up with, because I had many opinions and things of this nature already built up because of I remember not too long ago when I was at home, and that was one of the things that was discussed and talked about as far as what do they want to do, um, what is what type of minimum wage should people get, and it was a lot of complaints and riots and things of that nature um, that happened the because of this minimum wage thing. So the basic description of minimum wage in my book and just around is just like minimum wage is just a basic job that provides the basic needs for a family. Um, it's not a high income job. It doesn't, let you live lavishly and be able to do these things, but it helps with the basic necessities that a person needs um, while living off of minimum wage. And it was understood why people kind of wanted to increase the prices because of more so a better living, a more comfortable living, or some of the things they probably needed to pay for, and they weren't able to pay for because of the rate of the minimum wage. But um, but all in all, minimum wage was true as far as eradicating poverty. People who live in poverty basically have nothing, and they have looked for other resources and things of that nature um, that interferes. Let me say that back. Let me say that over. Basically, they have that interferes with their basic way of living. It interferes with them wanting the things that they want or the things that they need that are not able to. But that's where minimum wage comes into place, because a lot of people that are working minimum wage are basically described as low skilled workers, not very many credentials, and you know just certain things that stops them for having that higher class job is having that minimum wage and giving them that ability to at least have employment. And that was kind of the main gist I got out of this while reading, because um, although it does eradicate or it alleviates a person out of poverty, it doesn't fully bring that person out of poverty. Like, even if minimum wage would increase, it would only increase the percentage by a small token for the workers. Although a little is better than, nothing, you still have something at the end of the day. And it's basically, as explained, and some things I found out in some of my notes, it was came to the conclusion that poverty rates now, and if there's a relationship between poverty and minimum wage and resource distribution, the cause of this drop is employment availability and economic development, not the greater minimum wage. Basically, it was described as it is not linked to reducing poverty within society. And most of the time, when a person is trying to get out of poverty, it's because they are employed. It was important that poverty rates reduce if employment becomes accessible. An economy may flourish without having a minimum wage in place. There's really nothing that would say that minimum wages enhances the development or alleviates poverty during downturns. Raising the minimum wage will not lift individuals working part-time out of poverty, and it would also not affect the other people comprised of jobless, handicapped people. And I found that interesting because it was definitely something that was proven, because although you are being technically brought out of poverty, you are still in poverty because you're making a low income, and you're not making, you have the middle class, you got the low class, and you got the high class. So minimum wage basically hits within the low class. And one of the benefits I did read about with while doing my research was that one thing that it does, as I was saying earlier, was that it provides families with the affordable necessities like healthcare and education and shelter and food, and it helps a population and for the productivity and economic health, since employees may focus on development and prosperity without worrying about any additional revenue, which is a big thing, because that was the main goal of figuring out what benefits or what things came from the use of minimum wage, and how, and a lot of people argued that they should raise this because of what I explained earlier. And it kind of ran into some issues as far as just running into inflation. Many businesses will have to shift to low-skilled workers, to other inputs, and it will cause like a less want for work. It will cause a less availability to work. So the compromising thing is how accessible work is, in order to, like I said, if you get a job or two that requires minimum wage, which is not a good thing, having two to three jobs, but finding a good job within the minimum wage because of your skill set, because of your credentials and all that things, that's what's going to help a person actually get to where they be. Because only raising the minimum wage will increase the amount of people to come to these jobs with no skill set, no basically have to go through the basic training. And depending on how many people it is, a lot of people have to get trained up for these jobs. And on my notes with the the effects of the redistribution of resources is it came from a point of view that yes, minimum wage will help minimize the poverty level in many developing countries. A lot of these minimum wages only apply to the employees working in government hospitals, corporate firms, large legal investment businesses, and mainly it was basically being able to find a way to have the resources that is provided be able to be equal, be able to, when it was given, to be able to give the resources was able to be distributed equally within the people, within the workers, within